Marty, this morning's coffee shop talk is about how you get out of a job if you're not happy. So, a young gentleman the other day was talking to me, and he'd been in the same position for 6 years. Same position, 6 years. No upward movement, no support by the supervisor. He told me about his supervisor interaction, how it works, and how he hates where he's at, but he's not sure how to get out of that and go do another job that's equal to or better than what he's at. Money wise, always that's the big concern, right? And then his stress level. It has been proven the number one reason people leave jobs is because of the supervisor or the management system within that company. And it's very true with this young man that come up to me and has seen me work out there for 6 years alongside of him and said, Henry, I need your help. How do I get out of this rut that I'm in? How do I get away from this guy that just consistently rides me? And I listened to his story, and then I gave him an example what's happening to him. So like the flea story, he is trapped in a jar. It can only go 6 inches because he can't realize he has the potential. I try to unlock that with people and give them the vision that they can do something else. As a high school dropout, 17-year-old kid that has climbed the ladder and has done this and moved laterally several times in my career, this is the longest I've been at this current job because what I do I love, even though there's management around me that I do not like. I tolerate it, I eat the pill, I eat the crud, and I move on because it's better for those I work with. I will sacrifice myself for the deck plate people and do what I can to help them, vice myself. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But I deal with it, and that's who I am. So I gave him advice. I said, envision yourself in a swimming pool. I said, if you didn't know this, my one pointer finger on either hand, I can put in one finger in the middle of your head, and I can drown you with it. That's what your boss currently is doing to you at work. He's got one finger in the middle of your head on the crown. The most valuable spot on the human body is the crown, and he's pushing it down. The hardest spot on the body is the crown, and he's pushing you down and drowning you. And you finally came off of air, and you saw the potential of yourself, and you saw the potential around you. You could go somewhere else. So we talked about that, and I gave him ideas. I told him there's two types of resumes you carry with you. Not just a paper, but it's your personal one. Your personal resume is what you build around you and leaders and stuff and how you communicate. How you carry yourself, how you come to work, how you think, how you work with your coworkers. That's your personal resume. The other one's your paper. Your paper should always mirror your personal. If your resume on paper is outfetched, doesn't make sense, out of control, bigger world than you actually can perform, then you'll fail. Because when people read the paper resume, they set a personal mind expectation that you are that person on paper. If you blow the paper out of proportion and your personal resume is not that person in that paper, then you should not take that and take it to a job interview. You're setting yourself up for failure. Your paper resume should always match what you actually did and perform. Number one, don't lie or blow it up because you'll get caught. You can't repeat lies and stuff and things you blow up because you didn't do it. The mind only records what it sees, what it does, what it hears, and what it repeats. That's it. If you didn't do it and you created a lie to make people believe you did do that task, you'll fail. But unfortunately, a lot of people fall short. So what they try to do is over-exaggerate what they can do to prove themselves. I don't do that. I've always taught my guys, proof's in the pudding. Where the rubber meets the road is how you prove who you are. Keep the resume under control, only factual, and then you do your interview, and then you do the proof in the pudding. Rubber meets the road when you get on the job site. That's how you show people that who you actually are compared to the paper, that you stand above the paper. But if the paper stands above you, people will see it. So I gave him that advice. Oddly enough, while we're standing there talking, my boss walks up with another boss, a newly hired boss, hears our conversation, has seen the individual around working, oddly enough, and says, send me your resume. I want to hire you. You look like and sound like you're going to be a good candidate. He actually took time, 5 to 10 minutes, and sat there and actually did a kind of verbal resume with him, looked him up and down, and my boss, very, very astute and very alert, realized he's a candidate. As they walked off, I looked at him and I said, see, that's what I'm talking about. Your personal resume emulated right to the boss, and he already knew who you were. People that want to hire people like them, or want to better their workload, or their force of people, their group of people, actually pay attention to others and they scout for them. It's no different than a baseball team, a football team, and a hockey team. When you're a good leader and you're attuned and you have your 6 sense running, you're scouting for people that will fit your work site that they want to hire so they can make it better. That is what leaders do. Bad leaders tear down the work site. They belittle people. They demoralize them. They unempower them. They're condescending. They go behind their back. They don't know how to communicate an issue to the person. They make a mess out of it. And then they got a turd they got to clean up. I know. I've seen many of them in my career. I can sniff them out and see them in a heartbeat. That's why a lot of times I moved. Is because I had supervisors that never had my back, were condescending, make side comments, right? And belittle those around them to feel empowered. So good leaders look for good people. Good leaders have a sense for good people. And then they'll scout for them, and then they'll figure out a way how to get them over onto their side to work for them. That's what good people do. That's what good leaders do. Bad leaders don't scout for people. They don't want somebody that's powerful and smart and stands up. They want to be able to micromanage them. They want to be able to control them. Bad leaders don't look for people. They let other people look for them. And then they'll sit on the interview and they look at how they can control them and how I can manipulate them and how I can run the power show like that. Because 1, they're probably in a position they shouldn't be, so they feel inferior. 2, they don't even try to learn the position they're in, so they don't feel inferior. So they hire people around them that are more inferior that they can control. It's factual. I lived it. I've seen it whole my 40 years of my career walking on this planet. So what I'm telling the people, this discussion, this coffee shop, is for those looking for what I call a lateral move. Okay, you got the finger on your head where you're currently at. You need to move sideways because you can't move up, right? The finger's on your head. It's drowning you. The only way, and I'll tell you this, and this is factual, you can test it in a pool, is when somebody has their finger on top of your head and they're drowning you, is to get your foot on the bottom and push yourself to the side. When you get off to the side, you can come up for air. You can go find a new career. Don't be afraid of changes and find a new career. Your resume doesn't always have to fit the job. You sometimes have to learn the job even when you get there. Even when you change jobs and you could be a forklift driver, they might have a different forklift. They might have a different procedure. They might have different rules. You didn't come there knowing all that. That's not in your resume. You came there telling them you could operate a simple forklift. All forklifts are not the same. Not all cars are the same. But yet you get in your car and you drive your car, or you get in and buy a new car and it's different than your old car. That's what the resume's got to do. It's got to tell you that you can drive a car safely. Each car and what it's got and how it operates is different than the next one. Just like an automatic to a manual. Forklifts are the same way. There's gas, there's propane, there's electric. They all operate different, but yet in your resume, it says you can operate a forklift. So don't have the fear to go lateral and do a different job and make more money and have a better supervisor. That's in your right. That's in your power. You control that. You just got to have confidence in yourself to do it. Don't let somebody put their finger on your top of your head and drown you. Don't let them stop you from moving up and making more. Don't let them stop you from growth. Empower yourself and tell yourself you can do it. That you're not going to let them drown you. They're not going to let you be a flea in a jar and not reach your potential. Every human being has a way to have potential. And you out there that know people that have potential need to help them have potential. It's called teamwork. You should never be afraid of your people having potential and making you look better and be better. But there are people out there that have to micromanage and bully them with their power and position. That's sad, but it is out there, and it's everywhere sometimes with people that are inferior with themselves. And you just got to identify that and figure out a way out of it. All right, that's my coffee shop talk. I hope I help you. I get many people asking me this and troubled with it, more than I can imagine, and it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. There's a lot of great people out there, young, vibrant people, knowledgeable, smart, eager, passionate. And it breaks my heart that there's a lot of people that have to lead by that old draconian micromanagement mindset. They're out there. There's no way to change it. You just got to figure a way around it. All right, that's Henry's Coffee Shop. Go up and get up in the morning. Tell yourself you can do it. I think I gave you the tools to empower yourself to be better, and I hope I helped. All right? Have a great day. Think positive and go out there and change the world for yourself. Henry out.